Okay, so hopefully this will be the last update for this tool, the Upland Seed and Plant tool. I've made some, what I hope are the final changes, mainly to the calculator, and I'll show you what those are in a minute. And the other two tabs are still the same, planting and feeding. Behave as they did before. If you're not sure what that is, just go and watch my previous videos. The calculator, I've added a few more things since yesterday's video. I've been torturing Claude quite a bit, and I think it's at the point now where it's as good as it's going to get. I may do a few minor changes here and there, but to be honest, not much has changed other than I added a list for sale button, which helps you list your seeds, and I'll show you how that works in a minute. The other thing that I did was to add, if I can find them, it now shows a tiny little image of what the seed looks like when it's grown. I'm not entirely sure why, but some of the plants I can't find in Upland's directory. We can plant them, but like for example, the oil palm tree, I haven't been able to figure out where that one is yet. I'm having Claude try and help me, but so far no luck. I'm gonna see if I can ask someone else and see if they can give me a hand. I know that if I was using an API, I probably could get it without any trouble, but I'm not a developer and I don't think I have access to that. So some of them are there, some of them aren't. And I know that, like for blueberry, for example, we can't plant that one, so I don't even know if there are images of it yet. Lawn grass, obviously, that's been around for a while. I don't know why, but right now, I don't think anybody can generate lawn grass. If you look on Uplytics, over the past 24 hours, lawn grass isn't on here at all, and which makes it extremely rare. And because of that, the price has been skyrocketing in Upland right now. If I look for lawn grass, you'll see it's up around 600 UPX, which is quite high. Normally it's around 220, 250, somewhere in there. But because it's nobody's generating it, the price has gone up, which makes sense. But it's not like it's supposed to be the most common thing in seeds, so it should be cheap. But at any rate, getting back to the tool. The other thing is that because in the future Upland will be releasing seeds, they say at a fairly good pace. If I'm going to continue the use of this tool, that would mean I would have to update this list very often. And it's likely that I won't. Like, it takes at least a day for the Google Chrome store to, if I submit it, it's usually a day and a half before it gets accepted and then published. And so if Upland were to release a seed today, I wouldn't be able to have it in the tool for, let's say, almost 2 days. So I've added a little thing up here that if you click the plus button, you can add seeds that don't exist. And for example, sunflower, I haven't got it in the list yet. So if you were to do that, you could type in sunflower, and it automatically knows where to look for the icon for flowers or for shrubs, trees. And if you can't find, like if it doesn't show up here in flowers, you could try shrubs or trees, and if none of those work, then just click other and it will just show nothing. But when I find it, I will update it and it'll get pushed to the store at some point. So then you would push add seed and it would get added to the drop down list, and then you'll have your list of custom seeds. And again, if you tried to list a seed that's not spelt correctly, Obviously, it's not going to work. I'll show you why in a second, but you have to take note of what Upland has done when they spell it, if it's two words or one word, or if it's capitalized or not. And so, anyways, I'll just remove that so it doesn't get installed. So when you want to list a seed in your store, if you have a nursery, it can be quite a tedious thing because you push the list seed button, and then let's say I want to list a pine tree. I'd have to search for pine, and then I've got a bunch of pine trees. So then I would push, if I push the first one on the list, it's then going to ask me what do I want to sell it for, UPX or USD, and I'm just UPX all the time. The asking price is the next thing, and I've looked already in the Upland store to find out what the floor prices are for everything. So these are all, my prices are slightly below what the floor prices are. So pine trees, for example, if I select this, it's going to show me my price is $3.25. But if I were to go to the store and have a look, let's just go to pine trees. Okay, so you'll see that the floor price is $3.30, but this is the value that this is not what the person who's selling the seed is selling it at. This is the markup that Upland places on the seed. This person has chosen something, and you don't really know what. You know, it's 5% difference, but most people couldn't do 5% in their head. So what I've done is, if you type in the, it's more or less 331. So you'll see that it now shows 315 is what the person listed it at. So if this was higher, let's say it was 341. So now it's showing 325 was what they listed it at. So what you listed at and what it shows up in the store as are two different things. I'm going to set this back to, can't remember what I had that. But let's put it at, I'm not desperate to sell these, so I'll put 325. And then if I push set as default, you'll see that it shows up now here as the default. And this is fairly helpful, I find, but it depends on how you normally set your store up. So what I've done is I went through all of the seeds in the store and set what I felt were reasonable prices for everything. And that doesn't take very long to do. It's just like I said, you start with Arbor Vitae, and then you select that here, and it's 283, but I'm not going to sell it for, holy cow, that changed. That was almost 1,000 this morning, so I'll set it back down to 300 or 325 and set that as my default. So these bounce all over the place all the time. That's it depends on how many people are buying and so on. It's a regular market. So anyways, you may need to check this often if you're doing a lot of selling. But like I said, all you're going to do is, and this is dropped again too. I did not want to do that. Now they're down to 1,000. Before they were up at 1,500 something. So, but anyways, if you were to go through the entire list and set each price according to whatever you think it's worth, not necessarily what the market's going to bear. Like when you generate a seed, it's if you're doing it correctly. It's gonna, like, this shows up on Uplytics as well, where Laban's got the current seed price here. Right now it's 466 or 4.66 sparklet per seed if you're going to generate, and that shows up here as well. So if I were to generate a seed right now, if everything goes well. This didn't used to happen all the time, but now it does. Not sure why that is. So that maple tree seed just cost me 4.66 sparklet. Uh, Sparklet that I already had in game, but it cost me a little bit to get that sparklet into the game. And this is why this top part is here. This is the value that I'm generating at. If this were like, if I were okay with selling it at or generating sparklet at 9 point something, I could type that in here, and I'll just do that now. Let's say it's 9.22 or whatever it is. You'll see now that the profit has changed. If I were to go back to 4.66, you see that the profit changes. So if my the amount of fees that I had to spend to get sparklet in game were to change, and right now I'm finding that it's about 5%. If you were to go from my bank to Ethereum to getting it on MetaMask to converting it to sparklet to moving the sparklet into Upland, all of that for $100 worth of money that I started out with, USD that I started out with, I end up with about $95 worth of sparklet according to what it's selling for on the market. And so I should actually try to make the calculator work backwards too, but 95 is going to be almost 5 times that, so it's around 47. Nope. Yeah, it's around there. So it's around, if you were to buy $100 worth of sparklet outside of Upland, you'll end up with about $4,500 or 45,000 or 4,500 in the game. So, anyways, this is the current price of sparklet within the last 3 hours. This updates every 3 hours from the time you installed the extension. The other thing is like the store Upland is adding an extra 5% to the price that you charge. They get their cut, and then so this is showing you how much it costs you to generate the seed in US dollars, and this is how much I would get if I were to sell it for 750 UPX. I would get 75 cents. So my profit is 64 or almost 65 cents. If I were to switch this to USD, Upland won't let us sell anything for less than $1. So the price that you see in the store is never lower than $1.05. And again, this is giving you the same result essentially for whatever price I'm choosing. But let's say I'll go back to my inventory, seeds, and I'm getting low. Like you have space for 150 seeds in the store, and I've sold quite a few lately. I'm down to 58 in the store, so I should be putting more in there. I have let's say I've got weeping willow tree. I've got 63 of those, so lavender and weeping willow is what I'll concentrate on at the moment. And again, you should be looking for what's selling, not necessarily what you have too much of. The idea is to get rid of what you have. So if you were to look at this is the seed generation, not who's buying how much of whatever. So these values are how much is being generated, not how much is selling. I think and no, it's not there. I think this may be where you see the number of seeds that are selling, but I'm not entirely sure. Yeah, it's average price. but I don't know if that's average price of um, what's being generated or the average, because it's talking about the volume of seeds and the average cost. So maybe it's what's being sold. I don't really know. This is one of the things I'm not sure about. But if this is the case, then if this is what's being purchased, then more people are buying orange daisies than anything else. And I've never been sure what the unknown seeds are, unless it's a kind of a glitch that something happened, but there's always a couple of them. But anyways, getting back to this, the whole idea of the planting tool now for the nursery end of it, for the calculator side, is that if so I said I was going to sell weeping willows, and my price that I want to sell it at is 370 UPX. So if I go back to the main window, I can do this one of two ways. If I push lists your seed, and then I have weeping willow selected and I have my price entered. So if I push list for sale, this is going to show up at first because there are some things that you need to know about this list, and I'll tell you what they are. You won't have to read this, but once you're familiar with what this says, you can turn this on, and you'll never see it again. And there is no way to get this back once you've clicked the checkbox without reinstalling the extension. So I've just left this here for now, just so that you know that this is what you're going to see until you click this box every time you do this. So I pushed the list for sale. It brought up that box. I click OK, and then it enters weeping willow tree for me. I didn't have to type anything in there at all. And then if I select the first one, what's going to happen is that Upland will put this particular seed into the store. And I found from doing a lot of tests that if you were to quickly go back and list another seed, this one that is on top would be the seed that you just put into the store. There's a delay of about 10 seconds before Upland removes this seed from your list. So if you were able to push one every second to the store, you would get this 10 times in a row. So if you try to select one that's already in the store, it can't put it in there again. So you have to be careful. If you're going quickly, you're going to, instead of selecting the first one on the list all the time, select the first one, then the second one, then the third one, then the fourth one, then go back to the first one. And it may have cycled through by that time. But it also could be bumping them up. I'm not entirely sure how the list works. I don't think it's it's not numerical. It's not like this is the first one in the serial number list that I have. I don't even know if it's the first one I purchased. I'm not even sure how. It may be just a random array of seeds, for all I know. So one thing you could do is select the first one, then select just a random one on the line, then select the second one, then another random one, then go back to the first one. So whatever happens, you may eventually get an oops message that says that I can't post this because it doesn't say it's already in the store, but that's what's happening. And this tool knows about that. So if it sees the oops message, it'll bump you straight back to here, and you can try selecting a different one. So if it doesn't get posted to the store, if you don't get the success message, you know that you've chosen the one that's already in the store. And that's, like I said, that I'll just complete this. And like I said, now it's put this number in already. I don't have to type it in. And then you push list for sale, and it says, are you sure you want to do this? And you go, yes. And then it says, okay, and then goes back to here. So the idea is that it's saving you the steps of having to type in the same thing. Or like, say I wanted to enter 10 weeping willow seeds. I have to enter weeping willow and 370 each time I do it. And it's likely that I'm making mistakes as I go. You have to use your keyboard and the mouse to click buttons and enter numbers. And so what I'm doing is just trying to reduce the amount of keyboard work that you're going to do, and it's all now just mouse. Like I said, we're going to do another Weeping Willow. It's going to be 370 still, and I can start from here. I don't have to push the list for your seed button. I can just push it here, list for sale, and it knows what to do. And like I said, once you've read this and understand what it's going on, you can click this and this will disappear. I'm just leaving this here so you can see this is what happens. So again, it's entering it. Now it's waiting for me to select one, and I'm going to select the first one because it's been more than 10 seconds. The number's entered again, and I push list for sale, and then I'm confirming it, and then it says success, and then back to the thing again. So let's do another one. Got it. And I'm going to select the first one again, list for sale. And that said, oops. And now I'm back to the original select a different seed thing because I selected the first one twice. If I wait long enough, like I could wait 30 seconds and this is still going to be the one that's already in the list because it doesn't automatically refresh. I will have to select the second one. And this is what I'm doing, and then list for sale, and poof, we're back. And so, like I said, this is speeding up the process of entering seeds, because if you're starting from scratch, let's say you have no seeds in your store whatsoever, that's 150 entries that you're going to have to do. And if it takes, let's say, 15 to 20 seconds for each one, it's probably going to be more than that. Let's say it's 30 seconds. That's you're looking at a lot of wasted time for the day for, you just sitting there typing in the same thing over and over and over again. So this is the most or the least I can automate the system without getting into trouble. And this is kind of what I wanted to do. I didn't want to take over everything. I could just have it list for sale and then you just wait and you're back at this point, because you're not actually spending any money, but you're giving it the chance to earn money for you. So there should be some participation on your part. And that's what this is. I haven't automated it. I'm just reducing the amount of stress involved, essentially. I'm improving the quality of life in a way of this, of owning a nursery. So anyways, this is basically all this is doing now. Is it's not trying to take over the game. I'm not doing anything weird. This is just reducing the amount of typing that you have to do, and the amount of errors you're going to make while typing. And so I said the other one that I wanted to do was I'll go back to my portfolio, my inventory. The other one that I wanted to do was lavender. I don't think very many people buy lavender for some reason. It might look ugly. I don't know. Let's see. Have a look. Lavender. Oh, it looks like weeds. So anyways, the price that I've got is 400 UPX. And as before, same thing exactly. If you change these values, it's not changing anything that you're doing. The only number you're really worried about is this and UPX. If you were to want to sell in USD, it should work. I have had it work every time I tried it, but I don't want to list for USD, so I'm not going to do that. But you would have to select it here, enter the value you want in USD. Like if you leave it at 400, it's going to try, putting your seed in at $400, which you don't want. So you'd have to change that value. But anyways, the lavender and 400 is what I wanted to use. So I just push list for sale, and I will eventually do, mark my checkbox. But this, like I said, is for your benefit. So it's showing up with lavender. I'm going to choose the first one on the list. It's put $400 or 400 UPX in there for me. The reserve for a player, I haven't done that because I don't think all that many people are going to be doing this for seeds, and they might. I don't know, but I think most people are going to be selling them at reasonable prices eventually. So this will almost become useless. If you can't afford to pay, a little bit. I mean, I know that Upland allows us to exchange things for very small amounts, but anyways, if you do need to do this, you would enter the username. And but anyways, list for sale, confirm it, and it automatically goes back to here. So I'll just do another one. List for sale, got it. I'm going to choose the second one in the list. List for sale. Yes. And done. So like I said, it's taking away the tediousness of adding your seeds to the store. And if I were to go shop now, I have a bunch of seeds in here now. There are a lot that just don't sell. I don't know if it's because they're too expensive or whatever. People just don't like them. I don't know. So that's pretty much it. Thanks for watching.